welcome to Uprising 144K. Hey guys, just making my breakfast today. A lot of people ask about weight loss, and I have found that I can maintain a healthy weight on the regular. So people are always wanting to know how I do that. And it really, you know, if you just try to be healthy, it just kind of happens naturally. First thing is always the same thing, which is get all your nutrients. I know that sounds weird, but get all your nutrients. We consume too many empty calories, and obviously that helps us gain the bad kind of weight. First thing I always do, as you guys probably already know, is my Purium powder from myshopPurium.com, because it's not only nutritious, it's basically my multivitamin, but it's so clean on top of it. Meaning, the last pesticide test or contaminant test I saw on this product, I mean, I didn't see anything, which was kind of wild. Normally I see something, even with organic stuff. There's always a residue, almost always. So this was kind of a surprising. And of course the product, you can kind of feel it. It feels very, very natural. It smells really like good, like food, rather than something fake and artificial. Yeah, I just like the product, so I use it every single time in this smoothie. And you'd be surprised also, this smoothie has a lot of stuff that helps lose weight. I have a lot of tips, actually, on how to lose weight. People can ask specific questions if you want, but there's all sorts of tips. Like, for example, what time do you eat? Like dinner, or the last time you eat anything. That's actually something important to look at. Usually, in my opinion, now remember, I don't give any medical advice, I don't make any medical claims, none of that. Everything is just my opinion, is the opinion of the speaker, and should not be construed as claims for or against any product or products. But beyond that, losing weight doesn't have to be that hard. And it seems that people do have difficulty with it. Now I'm going to put raw cacao. I think it's also good for weight loss, but it's mostly good for cognitive health, but a lot of good minerals in it too. And chocolate just seems to have kind of some interesting properties to it. And if you can find it, see, I have to find the ingredients at a bargain. Otherwise the stuff gets too expensive. This is actually pretty inexpensive. I'm going to add that. You know, proper minerals, in my opinion, is very important. Making your body run right is just important for weight loss. And I have a lot of little weight loss tips. I mean, I have a bunch of them. However, I was gonna, by the way, healthy fats too. This is actually flax seeds. Flax seeds have been shown to be also pretty anti-cancerous. And good omegas, proteins. I'm always a fan of that. This one, these are all the quote-unquote ingredients I put in first. Is always the nutrients. This is B17 basically, which is ground up apricot seeds. Appears to be also anti-cancerous. I like stuff that's anti-cancerous, anti-parasitic. Okay, let's go ahead and keep moving forward here. You know, the other tip or difficulty for the average person is getting enough fiber. You'd be surprised how much fiber can actually help with weight loss. You'd actually be rather shocked. So see, first I always put in the nutrients, and this is a vacuum blender, so these nutrients are gonna be super, super absorbed. And that's the reason I like the vacuum blender. It doesn't oxidize as much. suck all the oxygen out of it. Okay, now greens. Now, I don't think most of us get enough greens for the most part. And so this is the reason that I do the smoothies, because it's a way to kind of, I don't want to say trick the body, but I guess you could say that, to get enough greens in it. You really need a lot of fiber and a lot of water in your system in order to lose weight. And one thing, I mean, one of the easiest secrets to lose weight is probably hydrogen water, which I just drank already before I started the video, because of the way that it appears to affect our metabolism. I've already seen that a lot. I guess that would probably be the easiest way to try to maintain healthy body weight. But that one I already did. I can show you the hydrogen machine if anybody wants to see it. You can just comment and I can show it to you. But this is going to be, it is going to be a hydrogen smoothie. Boy, this thing's really on here today. Okay. This is a vacuum lid. Move this. I got too many things on this counter. Can't fit with the camera. All right. So let's see all the tips for losing weight. Don't eat late. That's a big one. There was a study done actually in Japan, and they basically know that if you want to gain weight, eat later at night. And the sumo wrestlers actually do that on purpose. They actually eat super healthy, sumo wrestlers, but they eat at different hours and never eat and go to sleep. That is literally kind of a huge no-no. That's exactly what sumo wrestlers do on purpose to try to gain massive amounts of weight. And so you want to eat, here's a really simple tip. There's a lot of little tips. Like one of them would be, first thing when I wake up in the morning, and this was before I turned on the camera, I drink my hydrogen water. Being properly hydrated, oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Being properly hydrated just makes everything work better. And the moment you get up, you put something like hydrogen water in your body, which is not normal water. It's super enhanced. And so at that point, you know, getting the metabolism going, getting the body hydrated. And then before meals, which is basically what I do, that's why I drank the hydrogen water, because I like to drink it 20, 30 minutes at least before a meal, which is why I'm now making my meal. So I first start out with the hydrogen water. Then, after the hydrogen water, I start making this meal, and this meal is gonna contain a lot of water also. The secret is water and fiber and lots of nutrients. So I'm putting all these nutrients in here. Obviously you want to absorb the nutrients really well, which is why I make sure to, one, have a lot of fiber with the meal. The fiber and the hydrogen really helps absorb nutrients. I mean, I am absorbing nutrients like crazy, to the point where it kind of seems to be boggling doctors, because I get blood work, and I've said this story quite a few times, but I've gotten blood work quite a few times. And I don't know why the doctors react the way they do. I thought they'd just be like happy that I'm absorbing nutrients, but they just have either a hard time believing it. And then I even had some doctor get upset, which I thought was very odd. Why would they get upset? You know, they wanted to know what I was doing, but when I told them the way I was doing it, they seemed kind of upset about it because it went against their own, I guess, beliefs or theories, which I just thought was weird. It's like, go on data, you know? You clearly see that my blood work looks good. What's the problem? You know? And so, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Some people really get stuck to their beliefs, and I'm not like that. I'm very much data driven, so whatever the data shows, that's the way I go. So those things are really important for losing weight. Of course, little walk. You always have to, you know, do a little exercise. You know, I actually don't do a lot of exercise. I was actually timing myself. I exercise probably about 15 minutes you know, a day. Of course, I skip days too sometimes and do nothing, but I would say on average 4 to 5 times a week, 15, maybe 20 minutes. And it's not rigorous exercise, very basic. Little stretching, things of that nature. Let's see. Reliable Andrew says, fella, have you ever used zappers as part of a healing modality like the Terminator's zapper? Are you talking about the ones for parasites? To clarify, let me clarify before I speak. So just let me know if that's what you. Yeah, I do. I have used them. I know about them, and in my personal opinion, they're just kind of a scam. That's my opinion. I have not seen very, very good, reliable scientific data on it. And I do other modalities because I've tried so many things to clear out parasites. And when I actually achieved it, when I actually did it correctly, the results were actually quite dramatic. To the point, so dramatic that it just shocked me. It shocked me so much, no pun intended actually. But it was just mind-boggling for me. And cleaning parasites out of my body began to be extremely important for me. And then that's when I started creating, like, this is a very highly anti-parasitic smoothie. And there's a lot of nonsense out there in the world of health. Sorry to tell you guys. I mean, I'm not trying to like poo-poo everything out there. That's why I say I'm not making any claims for or against any product or products. But I've done a massive amount of research for a very long time to create my protocols, even to fix myself, to heal myself. I mean, I was so sick. So I was not impressed at all, actually, by those zappers. But there is stuff that is extremely good for clearing out parasites. Some of which, actually, there is a lot of scientific evidence. Like I'll give you, and cheap too, really cheap. You know, I know they always want to sell you the products, and I get it. That's why, I mean, you will notice that I don't promote a million products. I only promote what I have found to be helpful, and I want to keep things really, really simple. So I don't want 50 products. I don't want 100 supplements. Everything that I tried to do was to achieve it in the most simplest of manners. Let me put this away. I really wanted to achieve it in a very simple way so that it would be accessible for most people. Yeah, I've wondered myself how effective zappers were over the years. I mean, I've tried them, and yeah, nothing happens. There's always going to be someone who says, oh no, I felt it. Believe me, the placebo effect is very powerful. So there's always going to be someone. Like, I know of machines out there that in my opinion are just totally toxic. Like terrible, terrible machines out there. And have literally talked to people where I know exactly what the machine is. I know exactly what it's doing. There's no doubt in my mind. I already know it's bad. And people swear that it fixed them or that they feel better. And it's just, like I said, the placebo effect is a very powerful effect. Okay, I'm putting some rich leafy greens in here. You know, a lot of this food that you're going to notice is not only anti-parasitic. You can Google that. I've done videos on it before. But also you're going to notice that a lot of these foods produce nitric oxide, or at least they get the body to produce nitric oxide. You know, moving the blood is also key for losing weight. And so hydrogen moves the blood, being hydrated moves the blood, and getting the body to produce nitric oxide, in my opinion, really helps move things. Wow, I might have put a little too many greens in there. This one's kind of small, this new blender. I love it because it does the vacuum blending, but it is a little smaller than my normal blender. And for people who already have a Vitamix, as I do, I mean, the company sells their own blender, which is really great, but it has an attachment, which is nice. And you can just keep using your vitamins. Okay, we're gonna do walnuts now. Just gonna use these up. It's a lot of walnuts. Okay, I'm just gonna use them while I've been meaning to use those up. Okay, be right back. Let's see here. What is next? What is next? Got a lot of things. Okay. Another good one for the vascular system. You know, consuming things that are not really empty calories is very powerful for losing weight also. Let's see. Reliable Andrew says, do you eat the majority raw foods or cooked? If so, do you notice a bodily difference? Well, I think a lot of it depends on the climate that you're into. But yes, I eat a lot of raw food, but not 100%. So like this is obviously a lot of raw food, my salads, you know, but I definitely eat some cooked food too. Now I'm gonna put some hydrogen water in here, hold on. And this is just to enhance the nutrients even more. And the hydrogen really appears to, again, help with metabolism. I've seen a lot of people lose weight with hydrogen actually, especially people who are larger though. So that's been pretty mind-boggling to me. Okay, chia seeds. Again, lots of fiber, lots of water, lots of minerals, protein, omegas. Let's put some of this in there. All this stuff helps really have really good, I know this is too much information, but really good BMs, guys. Super awesome. Okay. Let's see what's next. Celery. All right, we're getting to the end here. Woohoo. Okay, let's go with, this is actually extremely good for you, also anti-parasitic, but it has so many amazing properties. We looked it up the other day. I already knew ginger was good for you, but it's even more amazing than once expected. Oh, and I'm gonna put a few raisins in there, sun-dried raisins. It gives it a little nice flavor. I will say also, by the way, the way you cook your food really makes a difference as far as trying to lose weight. So for example, do not eat fried food, stir-fried, pan-fried. All those oils, they turn into carcinogens, and they also kind of crystallize sugars. Basically, they make you gain weight very, very easily. So I avoid that. Everything steamed, boiled, fermented, raw. Eating very clean and a lot of water. Water is the magic, by the way. Water really is the magic. Lots of water in your diet, lots of water in your food. Cooking with water. That's why when you steam the food with water or boil it or making soups, you know, that kind of stuff. All really good things for losing weight and staying properly hydrated. Like I said, not eating late hours, you know. And me personally, I always consume the hydrogen water before my meals. It really makes a difference. You should see video 68 on how it moves the blood. I mean, it really is mind-boggling what it's doing. You know, a lot of people still haven't even figured out, like scientists, exactly why it works the way it works. Though, I think I actually have figured out why it works the way it works. But I won't be saying it just yet. Let the scientists try to, you know, do their thing first, and eventually I'll probably share what's going on. It's kind of complex, but yet also simple. Kind of like water in general. Water in general is a beautiful, simple thing that is also kind of complex. Okay, another anti-parasitic ingredient here. Ginger. It's hard to find organic ginger at a good price. I got lucky. I found a good source for it, so I used that. Good morning, Dremore. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. When your body's running right, when you treat it right, it just feels amazing. In so many ways, including mental health. And look at this. I am almost out of beets. All right, here's probably one of the last ones. I gotta go buy a lot of produce today. Yep. Okay, let's see how we're gonna do this. I'm debating whether I should try to use this whole thing. So I always want to wash the produce because of pesticides. I do like organic food. I know a lot of people don't believe in it, but I've seen studies on it, and it not only impressed me, it impressed the scientists too. They discovered some very interesting things about food that has been grown organically. Higher level of nutrients, which I'm telling you right now, health and even again trying to lose weight, it's nutrients play such a pivotal role, and almost everybody is deficient in nutrients. Now some people might be like, well, I just take a multivitamin. Hey, you know what, that's great. Take your multivitamin if that's all you do, but my goal, and this is based on, again, data, I'm sure you guys know by now that I'm data driven, and the body just responds better to food as far as trying to get your nutrients and whatnot. And so I try to do everything from food as much as possible. That's why I use that powder. You know, I'm trying to get my vitamins from my food, which is really, really difficult. But what helps me achieve it is actually this smoothie. I mean, that's what the smoothie is kind of all about, is trying to get all the nutrients and vitamins and minerals and everything. Okay. Well, I gotta say, we're running out of room in this smoothie here. Okay, 5 minutes walk for me. Okay. All right. Dramor says, I'm glad the new Chinese grocery store that just opened up has really fresh and some organic vegetables like organic ginger. There you go. There you go. Bellamon He Jr. says, Elaine and I just received our Void System blender. We're excited to use it. There you go. I mean, I love this thing. I do wish it was bigger because I drink a lot of smoothie, but that's my only gripe, and I just have to deal with it because I feel like it's more efficient as far as the nutrients that I'm putting in here. So that's why I also want to do this. Okay. Now we're going to go with celery. And I guess I'm not putting a ton in there, but I like the minerals, I like the phytonutrients. All these weird fruits and vegetables really have a lot of interesting properties, and you can Google them. They've done a lot of interesting studies on all this stuff. And especially for me, it's pretty obvious because they have this combination of things. Combination of fiber, minerals, phytonutrients, antioxidants, like everything jam-packed into just fruits and vegetables. And I will say, when I eat them, of course, depending on the fruit and vegetable, and hopefully it's organic, I mean, it feels really good. The body feels really good when you put a lot of water, minerals, fiber. I mean, it just feels good. You know, fried food tastes good, but I never feel good after I eat fried food. I just don't feel good. I actually break out really fast from fried food. Okay, let's see how much we can fit in here. Look at that. Okay, running out of room. Let's get, I guess I can't put much celery. Let me grab something else. This has got to be one of the cheapest ingredients. It's so good for you, and that's carrots. Reliable Andrew says, I use those portable BlendJet blenders. And you know, they're cool. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, this is next level blending. By the way, thanks for the thumbs up, guys. It's just nice and it's free. And I see that there's 13 people in the room. We should have at least 13 thumbs up. It's super easy to do. You just click. Just push of a button. All right, next ingredient, carrot. I really want to wash any potential pesticides on it. And so, you know, rubbing the fruit or vegetable with water has actually been shown in studies to take off almost 80% of any pesticides on it. So that's really nice to know, actually, because I wasn't sure how good the method worked. I was just kind of going off of instinct and also time. You know, it takes time to make these, and if it takes too much time, I won't do it every day. And the fact that I can get it done in a certain amount of time means that, yes, I do it every day. And of course, this is my breakfast. So, I mean, first it's my hydrogen water, but this is my breakfast. And it really helps satisfy the body because of all the fiber And nutrients, by the way. Nutrients really help satisfy the body. You know, sometimes I'll eat dinner. This is funny. I think I did this yesterday. Sometimes I'll eat dinner, and yes, it'll be a healthy dinner and it's all great, but I still don't feel totally satisfied. And I'll have a little leftover smoothie in the fridge, and then I'll drink that, and it totally satisfies me. There's just, this smoothie is not just your average smoothie. I mean, again, this is the way that I actually get my nutrients. This is my multivitamin, and it's very satisfying on top of it all. It takes time. When I first started, I wasn't fully satisfied. A lot of it has to do with parasites too, and also addiction, like literally food addiction. And because I used to have all sorts of bad habits, guys. There was a reason I was sick. I used to eat a lot of cheese and bread, and I used to do a lot of fried food, and I used to do a lot of carbohydrates, just lots of cereal. You know, just cereal and milk, right? It's super easy. Okay, well, let's see if we can break this blender. Well, it doesn't look like I have any room in there, but I have to make some because we need at least one banana in there. This thing just don't work without the banana. All right, it won't taste right without a banana in my opinion. It's gotta taste good. It's gotta taste good to me. Okay, well, I think that's about it. We're either gonna break the blender or it's gonna blend. I will say this thing's got Japanese blades, so I feel pretty confident, but you never know. Sometimes it just won't blend. And you know, the nice thing is, you don't have to worry about getting salmonella and all this stuff, because I'm not cooking any chicken or anything. And you don't have to worry about, well, for the most part. Also, you don't have to worry about creating a lot of garbage. I do a lot of compost. So if you notice, I'm not really, you know, creating a lot of plastic garbage or anything. So my garbage can tends to be very, very not full. Okay. Let's see. Pavel says, hello from New York City. Hello. Reliable Andrew says, do you grow sprouts? Yes, I have definitely in the past. I love them. I have put sprouts in my smoothie. If I had them, I totally would. What we are going to do is put a little bit more. Well, actually, that's enough water. Okay, that's enough hydrogen water, guys. Let's go ahead and do this. Where is the vacuum blender? Wow. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Okay, what I like to do, here's a tip. I like to get the edges wet. So let's do that. Just a little bit. It helps with getting the rubber seal a little more lubricated so that you can get it off the machine after you vacuum blended it, because this thing really, really gets on there. Okay, now I guess you guys can watch it. Now you're gonna see the water go up because of the suction. There's no water on this area because I don't want it touching my food really, because I just used a little bit of tap water. Okay, so you can try to push it on, but I don't even have to do that because this thing's gonna start sucking and it'll suck itself on there, and then you'll see the water rise. So let's go. See, this one's already sucking itself on there. Water going up and stop. I do not want the water to go up too far because it will suck it into the motor and stuff and it can cause damage. So the water's up to here. Now what I wanna do is I'm actually gonna shut it off because it'll hold the suction. See, it's all suctioned on there, but I don't want it to try to turn on while I'm blending because it'll suck up the smoothie right into that motor and it'll damage it. So it's all suction cupped on there. Now let's see if it'll blend. You guys can guess if you think it's gonna work. Anne says, do you find there are different nutritional needs for men versus women, especially how different women hormones throughout the month? Actually, yes and no. So hold on one second. Let's answer that after we get my breakfast going. Wow, that was impressive. I think just chewed it right up. All right, I'm gonna go get my glass. to me, but I will run it one more time and show you a couple magic ingredients that are really important for both men and women. Hormones, fats, you know, everything to be in proper alignment. So one more time, let's see. Show you some magic ingredients here. Yeah, you know, it's funny because although, yes, men and women maybe need a few little differences. Okay, before I go into that, actually, I got to show you guys how to take this thing off. There's a little secret that I developed on my own, and even the owners of the company thought, wow, we never thought about that, and we've had trouble with that forever. I thought that's kind of hilarious. And the problem is that they just can't get the lid off. Suction cup down there. So if you lift this thing, it releases the pressure, but it still won't come off. And what I do is I grab a little tissue, a clean one, put it underneath here, and just leave the vent open. So that helps. And then I'm just going to use my thumb on here, and then this, my middle finger is leverage, but this thing's a little sharp, I've noticed. It's been just kind of, doesn't totally cut my finger, but a little bit. So I'm just gonna put the towel there to help. And then I get the corner off, and there we go. That easy, guys, that easy. Okay, now let's take the lid off. And let's show you the, again, overcoming all nutritional deficiencies. I will say that no matter whether you're a guy or a girl, I have found this to be very effective for both men and women to overcome nutritional deficiencies. Now I will say too, this thing is thick. I don't get as much water in here, so sometimes I add more afterwards. See, it just tastes fresher when it doesn't get as oxidized. Now, here's the key magic ingredients for overcoming nutritional deficiencies. I already put all the powders in there if you saw that earlier, but this one right here, super important. This is actually really important for, you're talking about a female's hormones, different times of the month. Vitamin D, D3 with K2 in its ionic form. I gotta say, this is so important. And it's very hard to maintain proper vitamin D levels. And I just put a little bit, it's not a lot, just a little bit, because my blood work already shows that my levels are already like basically perfect. Actually, I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but they really are perfect. At least that's what my doctor said. They're like, oh my gosh, your levels are like perfect. None of their patients were like that, they said. And then the next ingredient is hemp hearts. Good omegas, most well-balanced protein in the world, which is really important. A balance of omegas 3s and 6s. Omega 3s and 6s, really important to have the proper balance. When people just say, oh, have more protein, I hate to say it, but they're wrong. The data clearly shows too much protein is not even good for you. The Japanese already know this. This is like not rocket science. They've known it for quite a while. They even warn you about eating certain foods too much. As far as the longest study ever done in regards to food and nutrition, people live the longest who actually consume less protein. It's not so much about protein. Yes, it's important, but it's actually about nutrients. Overcoming nutritional deficiencies is key. Okay, let's go over here and I'll answer your guys' questions. My hands are full. Now, the last magic ingredient, this is my own other concoction, and that's hydrogen. Inhaling hydrogen while I'm drinking my smoothie, I have found to actually really help. So putting in my hydrogen gas. Now this is really clean hydrogen gas. I don't use any devices that use lye, sodium hydroxide, stainless steel. It's the wrong metal to make hydrogen. I don't use hydrogen pills, none of that stuff. It has to be high quality, medical grade gas. And like I said, people just don't seem to know that. Though it seems to be pretty obvious for most physicians in Japan who specialize in hydrogen, but it's the same thing for oxygen, by the way. You want pure, very clean oxygen. That's why when you go to hospitals, Yeah, medical grade oxygen. Okay. So there are different nutritional needs, but for the most part, whether you're a man or you're a woman, if you were to drink these smoothies, like the way that I eat, it'd be fine for both men and women. And I have done my protocol for both men and women, and it worked, you know, for both. So I've never found that I have to like specifically have to, you know, do something a little different. So, and you know, you listen to your body too and whatnot. Your body will have probably certain cravings during certain times of the month. Sonji says, what type of glass storage container do you use? Are they lead free to drink as well to store your distilled water in? Yeah. I have some glass containers that I use. Hold on a second. Yeah, I do store, you know, the cleanest ones I could find. You know, you have to, I mean, you just do your best sometimes. You're never gonna get everything perfect or anything, but they feel really clean. I wash them. I do use glass for storing my distilled water. If I had access to really high grade polymer, I'd be okay with storing it in that too. So, yeah, I was gonna talk about losing weight today, but if you guys have questions, but if not, that's fine. We can go on any subject. It's turned out good. It just tastes, you know, it's so crazy. The powders that I put in it for nutrition, they taste different when I vacuum blend. And my hunch is, based on the way I feel, I mean, I have pretty good instincts about all this stuff. I've learned throughout the years that it just seems to keep the nutrients in, less oxidation. And that's why I like using the vacuum blender, because, you know, some of the products aren't super cheap and they're for our health. So I like preserving the nutrients as much as possible, and the vacuum blender seems to do that. Well, okay, guys, if that was all your questions. Let me scroll through here real quick, make sure I didn't miss any of you guys. But I'll let you go if you don't have any other questions. Let's see. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you about parasites because Reliable Andrew was actually about the zapper. Something super cheap, and you can read the data. There's scientific study on it, and that is diatomaceous earth, food grade. Lots of protocols on the internet. Pretty simple, easy one. So that's a good one. Let's see. I know that Bellamon, he Jr. said they just got a void system, so that's gonna be exciting for you guys. I wonder if you got the one that attaches to the Vitamix or if you got the one that comes with the whole blender. Okay. Yeah, little portable blenders are cool. That's what Reliable Andrew was saying, but I just can't make enough of what I need. Not enough to get my nutrients. It's all about nutrients. Okay. I know Reliable Andrew says, do you grow sprouts? You know, alfalfa, mung beans, etc. Tend to find it a bit messy and awkward. Yeah, I mostly like to do broccoli sprouts. I mean, I buy the bean sprouts, but I do some sprouting. But the one that I really like is broccoli sprouts, just because of the science behind them. Highly, highly anti-cancerous. And let's see, Sonji. Oh yeah, I already answered that question. Okay, Reliable Andrew says, agree with you on the protein thing. So would you say you would take less than, say, 100 grams of protein a day on average? You know, I don't even, you know, it's funny. I don't count protein. You know, I don't count calories. I just make sure to get my nutrients and listen to my body. You know, and Pavel says, I saw 22 Lourdes on sale on eBay. Is that okay to buy? Well, you know, Pavel, I've had too many emails about people who've purchased on eBay and even Amazon and have had bad experiences. Either the machine turns out not to be a legitimate machine, or it's a machine that's actually, it's either a fake one, and if it is a Japanese one, the Japanese ones that are designed to be used in Japan, they're electric, the systems are different, and so, you know, you could potentially have reliability issues. So I probably wouldn't do it, and I would get something that you know is official. And then the other problem is that sometimes people don't treat their machines quite right, just like a car, and they don't change the oil on the car, or they don't take care of it, and then you end up buying the machine and having problems with it, and you don't get any customer service or support. The company even tells me sometimes when I call and ask them questions, they say, you know, we do get people who call and ask questions because they bought machines elsewhere, but they don't get any support, and we can't help them, you know. If you really want to get a used one, you can probably email me. I got a few friends that I have shown how to take care of the machines. I know that they're real ones, and they're probably going to be upgrading to the new one. So I might be able to get you a used one if you want, that you know is an actual good machine that actually has a warranty. And it's legitimate. The manual has Japanese writing. I mean, if it's not an English manual, then again, it's either a fake one or it's not one made for international usage. See, a lot of people don't know that when the Hydrofix was made, it was only made for Japan. They were not going to sell the machine outside of Japan. Apparently, they didn't want to deal with it. They got a lot of requests for that machine, so they ended up starting to do it internationally, and they had to build a different machine. That's why the machines that are either, they say premium, or they're all gray, they're the international models, and the international models are actually better. They're more powerful, they put out more hydrogen. The new one has new technology on it, stuff like that. And my email is uprising144k@gmail.com. Sonji Palmer says, do you know of any Japanese websites where they sell good grade or high grade polymer, or where I can find that? I don't. I mean, high grade polymers are just like really high grade plastic. I always thought that all plastic was bad, but then when I did the research, I realized that's not true. There is really high grade, there's different grades of different plastics and polymers. And I mean, for example, if you were ever to look at food grade hydrogen peroxide, I mean, this stuff will like eat through anything, and then they'll have it in a plastic container. That plastic container is a very high grade polymer, you know, you're not gonna break that stuff down. I have some of this stuff. It's like almost 40% food grade hydrogen peroxide. That stuff can really burn, but it's got its uses. Definitely has its uses. Okay, any last questions? Anybody, I'll give you a few seconds. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. So I noticed we have 7, but we have 10 people in the room, but thank you guys for all the support. It's free, right? And I appreciate it. I'm gonna put a little bit more water in that smoothie. Hold on a second. And I'll give you guys a chance here to ask a question. Otherwise, if I don't see any questions, I'll just let you guys go. Be right back. I forgot I didn't have my apron on. A lot of times I just wipe this stuff on the apron. I'm gonna be wiping it all over my clothes. Nice one, dude. Nice one. Okay, more hemp hearts. This stuff, you know, like, it got really popular for, you know, there's always like these little trends. I'm not into trends. You know, but they'll have like, oh, copper super good for you, and then they start selling these copper supplements. And well, guess what? If you get all your nutrients, it's in the food. Like, look, copper right here, and it's better when you get it from your food. Zinc right here, magnesium right here. I mean, this stuff full of nutrients. Of course, inhaling the hydrogen, in my opinion, not only is it helping me absorb the nutrients, it actually helps with the negative aspects of quote unquote eating meals. There's actually some science that really shows that as you eat, you age, you know. Anyway. Bellaman He Jr. says, we got the full Void system from Void. Thought about Vitamix Void combo, but it was less money. Yeah, that is the nice thing about the Void system. It is cheaper. And then you have better options for vacuum blending. So, and I love Vitamix, don't get me wrong, but I gotta go with the vacuum blender. It's just better. Okay, guys. I don't think I see any other questions, so thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.